This week on Video Game Tango, we've got Sony State of Play and the OTK Games Expo.
This is Nick. Do not play Diablo Immortal.
This is Josh, and Shia LaBeouf finally got a fucking break.
I'm Sierra, and I'm real fun to sit on.
Make sure you head on over to videogametango.com for all the information, trailers, release dates, and more. My name is Andy, and you're entering Video Game Tango. This week we've got Sony's State of Play and the OTK Games Expo to talk about.
Hello.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It is a lot. Overall, over 50 games announced between the two things, or at least showcased.
Man, that's a lot of games.
Yeah, it is a lot.
More than 6.
Now, some of them were like first game announcements. Some of them were just showcase of games that exist or are in development or are in some form of demo. But they are games that are either here or coming. So I think we just kind of jump into it, guys.
I mean, yeah.
Let's
sure.
go.
Both feet.
Let's do it. So the first one on the docket is a game called Stray.
Ooh.
I want it. I need
it's
it.
the kitty game.
I want it, and I need it in my life.
Indeed, it is the kitty game. So Stray, it looks like you play a cat that wanders a very futuristic street full of robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TV heads, some max headrooms.
People that are max headrooms. It looks like there might be some kind of adventure game elements. You have some kind of like computer system on your back. That's what we know of Stray so far.
I still would like to see him in a top
I
hat.
feel like something has happened to the people. Something's gone wrong, and it's up to this kitty. And I hope we get to customize the kitty, because if I could play as a Siamese, I would shit my litter box. So
I'm not scooping it.
That's fine. I got thumbs. I'll scoop it. I'm excited about this game. It makes me wish I had a PlayStation 5 amongst
Yes.
other wishes. But it looks like a lot of fun.
It does look like the humans are gone, and it's like a robot society. And you are, as far as I can tell, the only living thing in this game so far.
Mm-hmm. Looks very Tokyo Jungle.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in feel, maybe not in gameplay, but very
He's
neat.
just so cute.
But yeah,
I would like to see more.
Yes.
Make any opinions on it?
for sure.
Yeah.
But it is a good looking game. It's a handsome game, some might say.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we've got a game called the Callisto Protocol.
Cool name.
This is coming to PS5 and was shown during State of Play. It looks very Dead Spacey to me.
So, yeah, the lead developer, Striking Games or whatever, it's headed by the old Dead Space guy. And,
Okay.
They're making these. This is in the universe of PUBG because, all those
universes
Jupiter gas stations in PUBG with zombies.
Universes are all the rage these days, homie. You got to connect them. Got to connect them.
Got to do the whole thing.
I'm definitely not getting PUBG vibes.
Yeah, no, this is full Dead Space, full Chronicles of Riddick, very slave or prisoner escaping from a space station.
Yeah.
Escape.
Escape.
I could see maybe he escaped PUBG. He's like this PUBG survivor.
Oh,
Maybe.
This is your reward.
I don't see how else you tie the game
doesn't
into
really
PUBG.
explain Bert here, but I mean,
Well, Bert's just got a wart problem. Be nice.
wart problem?
Yeah, dude.
Just some duct tape.
look at those warts.
Look at those warts. So yeah, very, very much Dead Space vibes. I mean, his health is even shown on the back of his neck. The main difference here between this and Dead Space is that his health is shown on his neck and not like on his spinal column.
Well, they're working their way up. This is the next game, so it's higher up.
Next, it'll be Sims, and it's above your head.
Exactly.
Soul.
She called it.
Next game on the list, we've got Roller Drum, also from State of Play, also on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4.
And PlayStation 2 by the graphics. No.
Right. I look at it and I see Jet Set Radio Future, right? It's got a very much a cell shaded vibe. There's skating and like a roller derby kind of vibe going on. But also lots of explosions, guns, and tanks.
I mean, yeah.
It's really the booty, though. You can tell she's a blader because the booty.
Definitely. Theme is cool. The concept is neat. Gameplay looks oddly floaty, but that could just be the bullet time.
Yeah.
Like I said, kind of getting my friend Pedro vibes. But like, I can always play more Tony Hawk, and if you want to give me rocket launchers and Tony Hawk, I'm down. Right.
I think we might just need a Tony Hawk game with rocket launchers.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe there's no HUD, right?
Right.
And maybe that's what I'm quote unquote missing, but it's just looking a little sparse, and I don't know what it is.
I agree,
It could just
but
be the art style.
it is also an announcement trailer, so they may be showing HUDless gameplay.
Definitely.
Some of it does look like gameplay, but it's hard. It's really hard to tell from the
Cell
trailer.
shade's great. Yeah, it's just the whole thing looks a little aesthetic.
A little flat to me personally. Next game on the list, we've got Eternites. Eternites. That's what I'm going to call it. So this one was described in a funny way. Somebody said during the state of play that that it is a Dark Souls-like dating sim. It's definitely got some heavy combat elements.
Weird vibes.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you have to date the bosses, because that would have been a much better game.
That would have been a
But you
supreme
might
game.
have to fist them with your energy hand.
Now, from what we can see here, you play as, like, at least the main character looks to be this boy whose hand has been cut off and his hand is now like some kind of energy arm
Weapon.
that he can turn into like a laser of sorts.
And
Amongst other things.
amongst other things, we saw a tentacle.
Yes, including a tentacle. It definitely throws me some weeby vibes. My notes on this guy is a hack and slash beat 'em up for weebs that don't know if they're turgid from their main character syndrome or because of the anime waifus.
Very Persona-esque.
Yes.
We will see. I'm always reserved about kind of Japanese action combat RPGs because
For sure.
they can get really complicated.
And they're definitely their own thing.
Yeah.
Then we have, drum roll please, Street Fighter 6.
Oh. What? That's a waste of a drum roll. You
Listen,
tricked me.
So it looks like it's going to be kind of an open world Street Fighter where you might be like leveling your character. It's hard to tell from the footage we've gotten so far.
I mean, it seems like we're going to put
They're dipping their toe.
they're dipping their toe in something different. They're trying something new to innovate. So cool. Hopefully it works. But I mean, I don't know. I think I said it earlier. I haven't been interested in Street Fighter since I tried to get my grandma to buy a stand-up Street Fighter thing. So I was like 8, 9. So I mean,
I
that's the
feel like
last
you're
time
going
I
to
was
be interested in it again in just a minute when
I don't think so. But
your
I mean,
15-year-old girlfriend comes on screen.
maybe.
I don't know personally if like this is going to be for, I don't know what crowd they're trying to reach here. Whether they're trying to broaden their audience by making it some kind of open world like progression, or if they're trying to please the tournament crowd, which has been their bread and butter for the last like forever.
I feel like they're trying to please that crowd. They just make a new Street Fighter game that was like the other one that the same people liked
There she
beforehand.
is. How are you feeling now?
Turgid.
Unless there's some kind of like unique progression that you can make for your characters and you can do some kind of build, I don't see this doing the tournament crowd very well.
At the end of the day, I think all this open world stuff is single player stuff, right? There's no way they're going to include that on the multiplayer because they're hardcore fans of what buy these games and they don't want to have to level up a character before they can be competitive. Right?
It's just hard to tell because the only characters they show here are characters Jamie and Luke, who I've never heard of, but I have also been outside of the Street Fighter loop for a long time. And then the named characters that we know are Chun-Li and Ryu. They show up and kind of take center stage towards the latter half of the trailer, and it seems like the game doesn't focus around them, but they're somehow like associated with your character, and it somehow an open world plays into that.
Guess we'll have to see.
Yep, for sure. I mean, this is we have very limited knowledge about this game, but I mean, it's pretty. It certainly is pretty.
Yeah.
We've also got Final Fantasy 16. We did get a semi-new trailer for this one. Showed a little bit more. Most of it is just cutscenes, but it did show a little bit more of what they plan on doing with summons in this game. And they showed off a lot of really pretty graphics.
Yeah, Devil May Cry, but you play as the summons. That's kind of what I got from that.
It does kind of feel like that a bit. It makes me wonder what kind of real RPG elements they're going to have. Because it seems like it's a certain change in formula, at least for the combat. But they also do have some of what seems like regular characters doing some combat in the trailer as well. Mm-hmm. It does look like we're getting more of the Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 7 remake style action combat. And if there are any improvements on that, then I think that's a good thing.
It never fails to be pretty.
Square Enix definitely always makes a pretty game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know that they've ever made a game that wasn't maybe even ahead of its time in graphics. Or like just kind of like console defining graphics in some cases.
Cutting edge.
What's cool though is it's the feel though. It never loses its feel. It's always Final Fantasy, but it's always so pretty.
Yeah. Even their derivatives, Final Fantasy Legends and those types of games, they definitely feel, you can feel the Square in them, you can feel the Enix in them, and yeah, they've always had a certain feel, and this seems like more of that, but very fancy,
so pretty,
very pretty.
Oh,
Let's
go. Here it is, game of the night, y'all.
Next up, we've got
battle.
Knights of the Deep. We're starting the OTK Games Expo trailers. So OTK Games, run by Asmongold and many other streamers, some of which you may know, some of which you might. Rich Campbell and Mizkif come to mind. Especially if you follow the World of Warcraft universe, it's hard to have not, heard about OTK. They had their own Games Expo featuring mostly indie games, and we have a lot of those coming up shortly. So this being the first one, Knights of the Deep, it looks like it's arena battler, and you play crustaceans.
Yes.
Have you ever had the desire to be a crab or a lobster or perhaps a mantis shrimp
This is for you.
with a Old West 6-gun or perhaps a sniper rifle or a meat cleaver or a hammer?
There's also
do
rocket
you-
launchers.
Yeah, whatever. There seems like a lot of punching bags or punching fists, boxing gloves,
Bugles?
bugles.
Bugles indeed. Magic wands.
I mean, just be a crustacean
You could hit it with
and fight your heart out.
It also looks very self-aware in that it's cheesy, funny, and corny, and plays up on that quite a bit, even during its trailer. Next up, we've got Samurai Zero. Samurai Zero is described as a multiplayer samurai/ninja melee PvP tactical action hack and slash.
Now, despite its title, there are several samurai
That's
in
true.
this game.
There is more than zero.
There
It's
is more than
definitely
zero.
hack and slashy as well. All the hack, all the slash.
Yeah. Third person, kind of a cyberpunk feel to it, and it looks like it's another arena battler.
Yeah. I mean, hoping that like with an announcement trailer, we'll see some more polish on it. But I don't know. If you like melee battlers, this is going to be for you. But
Badlers.
battlers.
I'm not. And it looks like they got some kind of little semi-unique shticks in there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be bringing a little something new to the table. This one, unfortunately, didn't get a developer talk, so there wasn't a whole lot more meat to what we saw than what we just watched in the trailer. Mm-hmm. But it's, I mean, at the very least, it looks pretty. It looks fluid. It looks like the combat is pretty tight. And I think that's going to be what you're looking for in like a 3D action hack and slash.
I just wish the character res matched the glorious back art.
Yeah. We'll see if they can do something about that. Her face.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It's an unchanging grimace.
Yeah, if you get an alpha game or early beta, you don't need to worry about that.
The dude looks pretty cool.
Especially because we are also talking about indie titles. So
That's fair.
Yeah. Now I want to go back to Knights of the Deep real quick. That is the release date for that is to be determined. Samurai Zero also to be determined.
They always release on that day, and I never know when it's coming.
I know when is to be.
It seems like a busy day.
Always in gaming.
Tuesday.
Next one up, we've got Neo Dash. Neo Dash happened to win second place on the OTK Games Expo, and they won themselves $20,000 in an Alienware gaming PC.
Nice. Honestly, this was one of the standouts for me when we were watching the trailers.
It's Tron.
Yeah, it's like Rocket League meets Tron meets Drift Kings. I don't know. It looks the 3D levels like switching up and down.
I love that.
The Rocket League. Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. It's taking Rocket League and throwing a different kind of a spin on it. Looks cool.
Yeah, definitely looks solid.
I think it looks fantastic, but everything they've showed us so far, like you can do that in Subway Surfers,
Yeah.
like on your phone. So hopefully we see more modes or multiplayer or
yes, I would like
ghost time trials or puzzles or
no. From what I'm seeing here, I'm already in my head putting in. Now I might be, helping them out too much in my own brain here, but I'm putting in 2 or 3 more cars in a racing kind of a scenario. I'm imagining a sharper looking car that I get to customize in my own way. So I am throwing some extra Rocket League vibes on there that it's not necessarily presenting, but
yeah, if they get multiplayer working, much different game
For sure.
You change the color of your neon.
I don't know.
It might change on its own.
for most of this, so for most of these, we there's a lot to be answered here. One of which is going to be its release date, June 23rd, available on Steam. There's also a demo available now. Yeah, so just a couple weeks out until the game fully launches. You can get the demo now on Steam. As for me,
Download that and try it on laptops here.
I definitely want to give it a shot, and for me, it's kind of giving me F-Zero vibes. And I like that.
Yeah.
We don't get enough F-Zero likes, enough F likes.
The soundtrack is equivalent to what it played in the trailer.
Yeah, definitely a strong dubstep soundtrack in the trailer. Then there is Gory, Cuddly Carnage.
Yes.
oh, this kind of looked.
I would
cute
like
as
to go all in on this game.
In this game, you play a future cat. A lot of cats tonight. You play a cat in the future. And you find yourself on a spaceship, and you've got to fly down to an alien planet and exterminate its citizens, I guess.
The cursing hoverboard is my favorite.
Yeah, there's a cursing hoverboard. There is something called a bear in a box that has spider legs.
Nightmare fuel.
Definitely on the scary side. Looks quite adult in its humor, and it's got plenty of blood and gore. But kind of another hack and slash, really quick one. Kind of gives me, what was that early Xbox 360 vibe?
It looks like Sunset Overdrive, but in a good way.
Sunset Overdrive, but in a good way is a good way to explain it. Yeah, definitely.
I'm pretty sure the blood trails when you kill are onomatopoeias. They say sploosh and splash.
I think they do. Yeah,
it's fantastic.
So seems to have a good sense of humor. Kind of a little bit on the adult side, for sure.
It's Nightmare at Freddy's. Is that what it's called?
It definitely has
Five Nights at Freddy's.
It definitely has some creep to it.
Yeah, for sure.
But a cute little kitty.
A beheaded unicorn.
And a fucking hoverboard.
Now, Gory, Cuddly Carnage. Wishlist it now on Steam. The date is to be determined. We've got Ardo.
Ratchet and Clank.
I would say kind of throwing a Ratchet and Clank kind of a vibe, yeah.
So pretty.
This was Arto.
So pretty.
ARTO. It looks to be kind of an action adventure game with some RPG elements in what looks like you can upgrade your items and your abilities.
This is the
beautiful
painting your areas you're going. It's a neat concept. I really like the idea.
Bob Ross would be proud.
A little Journey-esque.
A little Journey-esque, yes, absolutely. It's also giving me kind of a Supergiant Games vibe. It looks like something that they may have made. It also showcases a lot of different art styles. You are playing through like different art pieces, and I think visually speaking, it's an incredible game. If the gameplay is anything like what the trailer says, that's great. But for me, this is like a visual experience, and I think it's probably going to be like more of an experience than a game for me. But that's what I pull out of a trailer. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, we see lots of quick jump cuts of gameplay, so it's kind of hard to tell. Is there a puzzle? Is there a platforming? Is there like a lot of combat? I don't really know. So again, we'll need to see more. But yeah, art alone, very pretty game. ARTO, right?
ARTO. Date to be determined. The demo is available now on Steam.
Doing it. That's happening.
Yeah, definitely check it out.
What's next?
Next, we've got Below the Stone. So I didn't show this to you guys before we started.
Ooh.
I decided to add this one last second here, so you guys will also be watching this for the first time. A little bit Minecraft, a little bit Terraria, a little bit Binding of Isaac. It is a rogue-like. You have one life. And it seems pretty brutal because there is a crafting system, upgrade system, RPG elements in that, like, your character has regular progression in stats. There's over 500 unique items.
Dig Dug?
But it is a roguelike.
Top hat and a monocle.
It is one life to live.
Hey,
so
I asked and I received.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's true. You got a top hat and a monocle. Looks like it's probably going to be really fun. It also looks like they're going to be supporting multiplayer.
I was just going to ask, is this going to be a multiplayer?
Yeah. So
Sick.
it does look like it's going to be multiplayer. I don't know if there's going to be like team damage or anything like that. So that could be an interesting thing to add to it, especially in roguelike, but we'll see.
Whole new game for me to shoot Andy in. Excellent.
But I do like the voxel art. It's a fun time.
Super cute.
This is another one that I didn't show you guys. Didn't make it before the podcast. This is Figment 2 Creed Valley. The interesting thing about this is, unfortunately, we're not playing the music from it because, well, we don't want to get copyright stricken. But it does seem like a very musically oriented game in that it looks like you play to the rhythm. And also there's unique music for all scenarios, boss fights, levels, and things you do by interacting with the world changes how the music plays.
Scores are important.
Yeah. Visually speaking, I think it's a good-looking game with a unique art style, isometric view, and it looks like it's fairly combat-oriented. I liked this quite a bit. I ended up watching quite a few trailers of this. Again, that's Figment 2 Creed Valley. I'm really digging
that art style, honestly, on this game. That's a little creepy. This is neat. This is neat.
I think one of the things that has going for it is that it is unique.
It looks like if the artist from Slay the Spire tried to do 3D art, but for Psychonauts.
For Psychonauts, yeah, there's a little bit of Psychonauts. It's throwing me a little bit of Bastion
whimsical,
vibes.
Carnival. Yeah, the general scale of the thing, the isometry, is very Bastion, kind of up close.
Yeah, and a little bit of the level design, too, it seems. Reminds me a bit about Bastion.
That was the art style that I was thinking of.
Bastion?
Katamari.
Oh, Katamari Damacy, yeah, a little bit, yeah. It's really hard to nail down, isn't it?
A little pastel.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting. What is next?
When does that one have a wish list or
that
a
one's TBD?
Ooh, that motherfucker. Okay.
The best day of the year.
Next, we've got Cormon. Now, this one's kind of like Nick's actually played it. If you could describe it for us, that would be excellent.
So, I mean, it's available on the phone, at least on Google Play Store. I don't know if it's on iOS. We're finally getting this era with games like Carmon and Nexamon and Monster Keeper, where people are making Pokemon-esque games and trying to put their own little shticks and novelties on them. This game kind of introduces catching like a Pidgey in Pokemon for the most part. For most people that aren't hardcore, a Pidgey's a Pidgey, right? In this one, the creatures themselves, individual species, have rarities, if I remember right. So you can catch like better versions of a given type of Pokemon. And of course, they have their own stats and types and weaknesses and stuff. The online battles, I think, was kind of a big draw because people really, the online Pokemon community really stays alive because of that. That said, I mean, if you don't like Pokemon, you're not going to like it. It is 90% Pokemon. But if you want to give it a shot, I don't remember if I paid for it or not. One of those two, Nexamon and Cormon, was free. But yeah, check it out on Google Play. I'm sure there's plenty of footage of people playing on YouTube too, if you want to just watch it that way. You muted yourself? Mm-hmm.
This one has been, the announcement is that it is now available on Steam.
Ooh, one that's out. That's nice.
Yes. Next up, we have...
Dystopia.
I'm going to struggle with this one. Robotry? Robotry. Not sure exactly how that one is pronounced.
I like Robotry.
Haven't heard that out loud yet. So, Robotry is a co-op-controlled puzzle platformer and contains multiplayer. It's
twin stick, not co-op, because co-op was keys.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. So more like mount your friends.
Mount your friends.
Mount your friends style gameplay.
Yeah. The game, not the activity.
Yeah. Now, as far as the art style goes, we had some choice words about it earlier.
Well, Josh did at least.
Yep.
I did.
It touched something in Josh's amygdala that made him.
Oh my God! Like,
fear.
it's making the faces. I mean, people just listening to this, you can't see it, but it's weird legs on a square face.
It looks
that
fine.
It's not fine.
I think it looks fine. But Josh says it looks weird.
It looks weird.
I think it's the way it moves.
I think you look weird.
That upsets him.
It's a little Octodaddy. There was a Flash game where you played this little like three-legged black blob alien, and you had to move around like this. That got big for a while, but yeah, a little fun puzzle platformer with multiplayer, very pastel, cute art style, minus the uncanny valley faces, I guess.
Yeah, I think that is the only thing that might make it unsettling is it's a bit uncanny valley. Next, we've got Catbox Paradox trailer.
This looked really fun.
Yes.
So in this one, you've got a puzzle platformer. You play as a cat. Again, you can go between black cat or white cat, and depending on the color of your cat, you can only do certain puzzles. So if you're a black cat that touches a white spot on the map, you die, and if you're a white cat that touches a black spot on the map, you die. I think this is one of the more interesting titles that we saw tonight, just because it gives me Ikaruga vibes, and I loved Ikaruga.
Yeah, I mean, without going too in depth into it, it seems, B+ so far. There's a lot of puzzle platformers like this, so we'll see what they do to stand out other than the cute theme.
Yeah.
But yeah, those games kind of ride or die on their puzzle design. They have to find that balance between not frustrating and not too easy.
For sure. Yeah, and also it's got to have tight controls.
I was going to say, yeah, it's got to have tight controls because that switching back and forth thing, that's like you can have a puzzle platform. I don't know. I don't think that's neat. I like it.
For sure.
Even though it's like the cat theme is cute and fun, but just the whole quick switch thing is going to be for dynamic gameplay, I think.
A little Meat Boy-y.
Is this TBD also?
This one is, I just scrolled down from it, is available now on Steam.
Oh, another playable one, y'all. Another playable one.
Yes, it sure is.
Paradox.
Catbox Paradox. Next, we've got Minigame Madness. Minigame Madness is a game, just the name describes it. I mean, it's literally just a box of minigames. You open it up, you play some minigames. Ta-da.
Box of minigames.
It's a box of minigames. You got minigames with boxes.
But Mario Party.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, a little bit physics based, and yeah, you're just doing minigame after minigame. Seems like it's going to be a great party game.
Yeah.
They're not quite eggs.
Not
The
quite.
people
They're not quite people.
are like thin eggs.
They're
It is-
equal.
They're egglets.
That is a good way to describe them. It's not quite eggs.
Little eels. I don't know. They're too thin. Too thin
I
to
was
be
just going to
eggs.
remove a G from the word eggs, and then I was like, that's still eggs. They're EGSs.
Yeah. They're egg minus a G.
Minigame Madness, though, is in early access. Available on Steam.
Check it out.
Next, we've got Renown. Renown ended up winning the first choice in OTK Games Expo, winning $30,000 grant towards the development of the game, and also a PC provided by Razer.
So I know I said that I was most excited about the Crab Battle game, but this is actually the game I'm most excited about, and it, like, the trailer didn't do it.
The trailer's awful.
The trailer's
Yeah, the
not
trailer's
great.
terrible.
The trailer's not great.
Yeah, they had as far as the trailers they have available on YouTube, all of them are super generic medieval trailers where they ride horses through villages.
Yeah.
Um,
The
Skyrim.
concept of the game.
ultimately,
The concept of the game.
ultimately, what the game is it's set in medieval times, and it is a survival crafter PvP game, a la Rust.
So medieval Rust.
It's medieval Rust.
I like that word combination. I mean, doesn't it sound good, guys? Doesn't it just make your?
Are you going to say turgid again?
I was going to, but
Yeah, maybe
I'm only allowed to say it so many times per podcast.
If you say it 3 times, it happens.
Yep.
So yeah, it's medieval Rust, and they did have a developer interview that I watched during the Games Expo, and the developer was asked by Asmongold. Asmongold said, "So what inspired you to make medieval Rust?" The developer responded by saying, "Playing Rust. I wanted a medieval Rust." So
He did it.
he did it, and
did it.
honestly, not based on its trailers, it looks fantastic. I would definitely go back and watch the OTK Games Expo VOD so you can get the full reveal that they showed there.
And that makes me say, I wonder what I'm going to do with my other 2 wishes, because this one has been granted.
Turgid.
That's 2.
That's
It's
whoa.
twelve.
Next up, we've got Fashion Police Squad. Fashion Police Squad. I really enjoy its art style. It reminds me very much of early Wolfenstein, Duke Nukem 3D. It definitely has that kind of look about it. 3D world environment. It is a first-person shooter. The enemies are all 2D. And yeah, you have to change their attire with your
Have
weaponry.
you ever wanted to be a seamstress and a fascist? Here you go. This game's for you.
That's perfect. I mean, that's honestly how they should just announce the game here.
I wish we could really shoot people who have saggy pants in real life. This will be
I
satisfying.
mean, if you can find an old school sewing machine that shoots bullets, I think it's allowed.
I mean, also the bitch
That shoots
slapping
fashion
looks
bullets.
fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, you can karate chop people into better dress wear.
Dress better.
Also, there's a gnome, a very prevalent gnome in this trailer, and I'm not sure what happens with the gnome.
It's on the splash cover, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also like a weapon in the late trailer or something. He's carrying around a gnome. Unless that was a secondary trailer during the Games Expo, which it looks like it might have been.
A gnome as a weapon.
A gnome as a weapon. Next up, we've got Rocket Bot Royale.
Oh, this one looked fun, too.
It does look fun.
This is a standout to me. It looks like Worms,
Yes.
but a battle royale that you play tanks. So Gunbound Worms battle royale.
Yeah.
And this looks incredible. It looks like this is going to be a great party game.
I really would like it if they made the cute little noises when you hit each other, like Worms
Yeah.
does.
For sure.
Could probably make that happen. Yeah, I mean, besides the fact that it looks like a Flash game from 15 years ago, it looks
Right.
like a blast. You
Yeah.
know, it's had both Android and PC, right? Steam and
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Play Store. Yeah. I mean, that to me, it just harkens back to those early 90s Flash game art styles, and I'm kind of about it.
The good old days.
As long as it's not like jam-packed full of microtransactions, you know, I think that could be a really, really solid game.
For sure.
We'll see.
I don't know that it could be. It seems like you just get some power-ups, and otherwise it's just... Well, fair enough. Everything could be.
Oh, is that assuming it doesn't get choked with microtransactions? I mean, destructible levels that are sinking, time crunch, battling friends, strangers with little pocket tanks.
Friends, strangers?
Friends, strangers.
Strangers are just people you haven't made into friends yet.
Got it.
True. I do want to go back real quick. I forgot to tell you guys, Renown is TBD, but there is a free-to-play combat demo June 13th.
Ooh. And that was the Medieval Rust
that
one?
in your
That is the Medieval Rust one.
Okay.
Then there is Bot Royale. That is available now on Steam.
Oh, shit.
Pocket Tank Swarm one. Okay.
It's, totally. Absolutely down to play it.
Bot Royale.
Bot Royale.
Okay.
Bot Royale.
Next up on the list, not to be confused with Bot Royale, we've got more robots. It's all robots and cats this week, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Roboco.
Beep, beep, meow.
Bot Royale is $3.
What?
Done.
Again,
Steal.
it's like practically a Flash game, so yeah.
Steal.
That is awesome. Let's try it out.
So Roboco, the grand design of this game is to grand design yourself a
Grand design?
robot.
With
This robot is meant to perform certain tasks for really dumb people. That's a very simple explanation, but in the trailer here we see them trying to feed people, trying to clean up their homes, etc. It's interesting. I for one am really looking forward to this one personally. What do you guys think about it?
I'd like to see how terribly wrong they can go. Right?
Yeah,
like you
for sure.
accidentally build a robot that murders the human you're trying to help.
Oh yeah,
it's got this feel between Katamari and Animal Crossing, but then it plays like Besieged.
I just cannot get over how the people walk in the game. I cannot.
Yeah, they walk like they don't have knees.
It's human fall flat.
yeah.
They don't have knees. That's why.
They don't have knees. It looks like they've got turgid legs.
Yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah, and they build a Roomba, they build a butler bot, they build a would you beer me bot, and then like some kind of nuclear waste disposal bot.
But no one's built them any leg braces.
There are googly eyes involved as
Why
well.
would they need leg braces? Their legs are already straightened.
Yeah.
They
don't
need
have
leg
knees.
joints.
Someone
Josh.
build them knees. Why do the robots have knees but the people don't?
Evolution.
Fuck
The
your
robots are
legs.
evolving.
Fuck your legs.
No, that Roomba's got little hands and a tail. I love it.
Yeah, fantastic. So, Nick, you brought up Besieged. Here we've got Abris, Build to Destroy.
Yeah, this one has been popping up on the indie games Reddits off and on for a couple of years now, just little clips of it. And do you want me to describe it?
Yeah, please keep going.
I mean, it's essentially similar to Besieged. You have to build a machine in order to destroy these super high voxel count buildings and walls. And it's just a glorious, violent mess of explosions and concrete and framework going everywhere. So in that sense, I mean, your goal is, again, like Besiege, kind of, it's maybe a little bit like Tab's Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, in that you can like retry a level over and over again until you do it. I think someone mentioned in chat Angry Birds, but
U.S. government
budget or something like that.
Yep.
The Birdalism architecture. But yeah, no, it's gorgeous. If you love massive voxel explosions and weird brutalist 80s kind of vibe to the art,
Some of it looks
definitely worth checking out.
Some of the explosion physics look pretty cool.
At the end of the day, it's a puzzle game.
Yes.
But more than that, it's just fun watching everything explode. So
100p, no cap on a stack. Breaking mama's back.
Mom spaghetti.
Going back to, because I keep forgetting, Bot Royale available now on Steam. Roboco demo available on Steam. Abris Build to Destroy available now on Steam.
Oh,
That's a bunch in a row that you can just go try right now, guys.
Yeah, and you guys were giving me shit.
Not you guys. It was just me.
It's true. Next up, we have Headless Jeff 3.
Oh my gosh.
Headless
I
Jeffrey?
love him.
Jeff 3.
I love
Jeff.
him. Jeff 3.
Jeffrey?
His name is
Jeff
Jeff
3.
3.
Oh,
Jeff
Jeff 3.
The third
Jeff 3, the
Jeff.
third.
Yes.
Jeffrey
Yeah.
the third.
Jeff 3. He's a robot.
He's adorable.
You play as Jeff 3, the robot. He's lost his head. He can only carry it. He can't put it back on his neck. It is a puzzle game in which you have to set down your head to be a fixed perspective and figure out puzzles without being able to look at where you're going. It looks super cute. And this one piques my interest, looking like a lot of fun. It's given me Portal vibes despite the lack of Portal.
So
Very Portal.
once it was established that you have a fixed camera view, so I would say the number one thing I guess they're indie, right? So it's like, oh, you can't hire a PR firm to help you like decide how your trailer is going to amp up people or whatever.
It is a bad trailer.
That's been like the common thing. The trailers are a little rough, but because they're not explaining what it is. But once you know that the point of view is stuck wherever that fucking head is, that's an interesting twist on this game. That makes it more interesting. It's not just your standard solve a thing, get a place.
Solve a thing, get a place.
Solve a thing, get a place. I mean, those are
It's true. You get
puzzle
the next
games.
level.
You do, yes. You get a place. Headless Jeff 3 demo is available on Steam.
Listen, so I'm going to need a recap after this because I failed to write them down.
For
and
sure.
Now I want to write them all down. So
I will be happy to give us a
Thank
recap
you.
at the end of this.
thank you.
Next up, we've got Nightcrawlers. This is a physics-based action RPG.
Annihilated.
Yeah, so, I mean, kind of a cutesy chibi action RPG, very physics-based in that it looks like there's some destructible terrain, and there's a lot of ragdolls.
So
Everybody
cute,
loves
though.
ragdolling.
And the chibi dough is so cute.
And you fight a chicken.
I mean,
So,
Well, I'm going to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Genfanod. I hope I'm getting that name right. Genfanod Generic Fantasy Adventure. This one's hard to describe, even if we throw it up on the screen for the visual. It seems like a very self-aware RPG, probably. They show some gameplay footage that ends up looking like
this is the one that looked
dollar store ripoff RuneScape.
RuneScape.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
RuneScape. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you should definitely check out this trailer. Check out Genfanod, Generic Fantasy Adventure by Rose Tinted Games. It's a spoof on RuneScape style games and MMOs.
I thought the trailer was fun. This is one
Yeah.
of the trailers that I really liked. I'm probably not going to check out the game. I don't know. Maybe if I didn't like RuneScape when RuneScape was a thing.
It's hard to tell if this will even be the game,
Yeah, like I don't. Yeah,
right? Like the gameplay loop may be totally different than what they're showing us based on what they told us in the trailer. So
I mean, yeah.
this one, my opinion is TBD, because you can't even tell what kind of game this is. Like they just make jokes about what you're going to be doing in this game, kind of making fun of you for having played MMOs and the fantasy style genre.
Yeah, I mean, we see a guy cut down a tree, walk around a place, and talk to people. That's
Yeah.
all you see
RuneScape.
him do. So
Yes.
yeah.
Very, very weird concept. I don't know what the implementation is like. If it just ends up being RuneScape 1.5, I don't know why we're talking about it.
If I had to guess, it's probably Gen Fanad because it's generic fantasy.
Generic fantasy adventure. Makes a lot of sense. Genfanad.
I was thinking about that name. I'm like, what a weird name. There
It's-
must be a reason for that.
it's peculiar though because the trailer almost leads you to be let down once you see the game.
Sure, yeah.
There's this great build up with the comedy and the presentation of the trailer.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see.
Next up, we've got The Pale Beyond.
This one looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So we've got a pirate-themed RPG in which you command your ship
I
and...
feel like more explorers, homie. More explorers, not pirates.
Explorers.
Explorers.
Sure, okay, I agree with that. Yeah, you've got a large wooden vessel in which it looks like you captain, or you at least take over as captain I am completely unsure about who you are in this scenario, other than you run the ship.
Yeah, I think you're the administrator, right? You have to make the hard decisions, and the captain's like, "Oh my god, man, what are we gonna do? What do you think?" I don't know. It looks pretty fun. It looks like there's some voting things. There's some mystery involved.
Vote for your captain, lead your crew.
You got to take care of everybody. So, I mean, did Jimmy get frostbite? Are we going to eat the sled dogs?
Right.
Can we make it out of here on the sled dogs? We don't know. Is the captain going to be fine? That's up to you.
Jimmy crack corn.
And we all cared.
Thank you.
We all cared, yeah. Now I'm getting Sunless Sea vibes from the kind of graphics and UI, UX, and the gameplay itself. The theme is very Frostpunk. But then it's kind of got that overarching, I mentioned earlier, Dread Hunger, which was a first-person multiplayer game where someone is the trader, and you go on this Victorian cruise up into the Arctic, and like the trader has like black magic and all these dark, evil things they can do to try to like make the mission fail. I don't think this game has that because it's much more Frostpunk, just trying to survive under really harsh conditions. But I do like that kind of Lovecraftian, Victorian-ish fantasy vibe they got going on there. I don't know if there's any Lovecraft stuff. It's just the art style, the very Sunless Sea.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Ethereal, Echoes of Yore. I would explain this one in trying to tackle a lot of the problems that the MMO genre has. There were a lot of comparisons to V Rising in the chat during the live stream. But in this game, you choose your class and you choose your profession. And the quests given to you are completely based on your progression so far and your profession and class. They're supposed to be rather unique to your player, or to your character rather. And they are supposed to carry weight within a server. It looks like the servers are going to be a lot smaller than MMO servers, but still large enough that you'll run into new faces and, also the old ones. I'm really intrigued by this one to see how it progresses as far as its development. This is something that I'm certainly going to keep an eye on, especially for my love of the MMO genre and the problems that I have with it. What did you guys think?
I like the idea of I wouldn't say exclusivity, but having the quests be unique per player. That's pretty interesting to me. Yeah,
that way you're not just kind of doing the same. All right, run into the quest giver, run do the thing, run back to the other guy. I mean, it might make you want to read what quest it is you're doing.
Sure.
Because it's semi-specific to you. The whole idea where it's really focusing on your profession, because that's like a big part of. I haven't played a lot of MMOs, so like it seems interesting to me. Like I think you said earlier, like a condensed version of one, and so maybe if the MMO is not your thing, but you're curious,
just want to taste.
You want to taste. This could be your taste. Seems interesting to me. I too would be willing to give this a go, seeing how as I'm.
What's the
wading in
the status on this guy?
So Ethereal Echoes of Yore is early access by request on Steam.
Oh, so if you ask, they'll let you in.
If you ask, they might let you in.
Do you have to say pretty please, or you have to be like someone special?
I would just be nice and be someone special.
Darn it. But I'm not special, Andy.
Coming 2023.
2023.
Ethereal.
Last up on the docket, we've got Crowsworn.
We should note they spelled Ethereal wrong. So if you're trying to look that game up, it was what? ETHIRAL?
ETHYRIAL.
Okay.
Crap.
Even spelling it is a mouthful. Don't worry too much, though. If you want to go to videogamedango.com, I will have this up on the blog by the time this is up.
Sick.
With links and everything.
Super sick.
On the blog, there will be even more than what we're showcasing on the show.
The whole list?
The whole thing. The whole shim-shebang.
He accidentally the whole thing.
So Crowsworn, we're watching the trailer right now. The trailer gives me hardcore, like, Batman 90s cartoon vibes, just in its art style. It looks like it's going to be a pretty hardcore Metroidvania or like a Hollow Knight style type game. I dig the art style. I mean, you're playing a dude with a fucking plague mask and a large cloak, so that already, I appreciate the art style. What did you guys think of Crowsworn?
Crowsworn was is a nice way to wrap it up for the games, because this was the last trailer we watched as well, getting ready. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm really digging the 2D side-scrolling, like you said, Metroid, Castlevania kind of a feel. I think the art style is cool. I like the big blasts that I mean, you guys, listeners, you can't see, but he's a plague mask wearing man with big ass guns and a Reaper stick.
He's very aesthetically pleasing.
I really hope that there's more of these cutscenes in the game too, that you get these, because
they kind of look like a low res Castlevania, the show from Netflix.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely got that art style.
I mean, to be honest, I cannot tell you how many Metroidvanias have come out in the last 5 years, and so far I have seen nothing unique about this one.
Yeah.
Even watching it. Salt and Sanctuary, like you said, Hollow Knight, Have a Nice Death. They all look very, very similar. Have a Nice Death was gorgeous. Hollow Knight is Hollow Knight. That doesn't need an introduction. So, if we just get another really solid Metroidvania, cool. But, until I see more, I don't know if I'd recommend it over any other Metroidvania.
Now, they did show some actual gameplay, and Asmongold did play this on stage. The controls look really tight, especially for him playing on mouse and keyboard rather than a controller. While he had problems with the boss, I think that had mostly to do with the fact that he was playing it in front of 120,000 people on a stage where he wasn't comfortable, because that dude lives in his room, much like I do.
That would do it.
So yeah, I feel like while he struggled to beat the boss that they have in the demo that they provided him, I think that had to do more with his surroundings and less with his ability to play games or the difficulty of the game.
Or it was a setup.
No, it was actually... So, going back to that specifically, it got to the point where they actually talked about it on stage, and they're like, "Yeah, we were gonna have to stop you, dude, because you went 10 minutes longer than the segment allowed." Meanwhile, the head dev is on Skype, like a Skype call with them, and he just ends up watching Asmongold play the game for 15 minutes. So they tried to bring out a ringer, S-Fan, another popular streamer, part of OTK. Who was supposed to be the ringer if Asmongold couldn't do it. But Asmongold basically said, shut up, nope, I'm doing it, and seemed really resolute to finish the boss battle that he was playing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it seemed...
on the stage.
Yeah. He really liked the game from his initial impressions, said that the controls felt super tight, and that he was just nervous. I mean... If anything, it looks like it's just going to be a good Metroidvania, which I'm always kind of down with. I like Metroidvanias.
I'll always be geeking over the art and the presentation and the aesthetic of new games.
Yeah, I think once Nick said, he said just a second ago, the Have a Nice Death. I think that's what it reminded me of there, just with that.
Have a Nice Death was a little more cartoony and much more self-effacing and self-aware. That game looks more like a emo version of Hollow Knight, if you can get any more emo. Or maybe a little.
But just the whole, the scythe, the plague mask, I think it's evoking that kind of a feel.
I'd be curious to know who was the artist of those cutscenes, because it looks very similar to the art of the Critical Role show that got released on Amazon.
It's kind of like that. Low...
It's great. It's beautiful. But
what was it called again?
Crowsworn.
Let's see if I can
One word. Crowsworn is TBD, but there is going to be a single boss demo coming to Steam soon.
Cool.
Should be by the end of the month, June 2022.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's just exciting that they had a thing for indie games, man. I mean, the AAA titles all they get the big stage.
Yeah, that's
they
super
get the big
rad.
stage, and
I need to point this out. The developer, Mongoose Rodeo, has made 2 games, Crowsworn and Crowcart.
Crowcart
Crowcart is a kart racing game.
I think he likes crows.
This guy might be into crows, man.
Oh, it's in the world of Crowsworn. He's developing universe.
Oh, okay.
Here we go.
Oh,
all right.
I mean, I told you,
There
man,
you go.
universes are all the rage.
Emo Mario Kart.
It's cool to see some
play it.
indie developers.
Luigi, why?
Getting some time on the stage, getting some time on the stage, getting some people talking about it. There's a local game dev that was featured there.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Which game was that?
We have talked about Immortal Gates of Pyre on the
you
podcast
mentioned
before.
It was like an RTS.
Yeah, and they're actually local to where we live, which is a rarity. They are the one game studio that we have within probably 200 miles of us, likely more. So to see them being featured on such a big stage was really nice. And honestly, with the reach that Asmongold has as a presenter, you had nearly as big of an audience for this as you did the Game Awards, which is where you get all of the AAA trailers and announcements nowadays.
To put someone from our podunk little town have a couple 100,000 people listening to what they're saying. That's kind of neat, man.
They're representing.
Yeah. Fucking A.
And not only so, you can look at it as like they paid them an exposure, but they literally chose 2 indie developers. The second prize getting $20,000 in a PC,
insane.
and the first prize getting $30,000 in a PC to help them make games.
Yeah.
So they got lots of exposure, in the hundreds of thousands, and here we are covering it. I know there are other news outlets that are going to be covering it as well. I'm sure all the biggest ones are going to have a list similar to ours, videogametango.com, and are going to be showcasing these games for quite some time. So
that's really cool, considering
it is
that most of these games that we saw trailers of, and you know what, we did knock the trailers, but I mean, we're used to those big, we did knock the trailers a little bit, but these guys are literally, they're doing this with no money, man. Like they're just putting in their time and their own. They probably have day jobs and
That's
shit.
a testament to
Right.
their work.
So it's $20K to help develop their game, or $30K in a brand new PC. That's
Right.
pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
or some exposure, and they could
And-
put the
and-
game to early access if it pleases them, and potentially get the revenue that it is required to make a game.
I think the dopest thing about your list, Andy, is that a majority of them have demos. I think the crummiest thing is waiting. When you find a game that excites
Yeah.
you, you're ready for it, and it's that TBD, and that's all you get. So
Yeah.
to have a large list of these cool alt indie games to be able to play with is rad.
For sure. So we are running out of time, guys. Is there anything you wanted to talk about real quick before we end things?
Yeah. Don't fucking play Diablo Immortal. Holy shit, I could have ran it for 4 hours about it. Let me give you just 3 headlines, besides me telling you not to play it. I watched a guy do some PvP in the game. Enemy had a whale on their team, someone who'd spent a bunch of money. 12-0, 10-0, 11-0, every match. They didn't die. Right. One guy on Twitch paid $4,000 and didn't get a single best in slot gem that he was trying to get at the end of the game.
$4,000.
It's $50,000 to $80,000 thereabouts to get all best in slot gear by the end of the game. I'm not making those numbers up. Those were brought down from 100,000 since the beta.
Oof.
$50,000 if you want to just outright buy the best in slot shit. I can post a link to the Reddit article where he breaks down how much these things cost. More than that, little shit. You want to form a little clan of 8 people. The first thing you have to do is party up with at least one of them, be in a party, and just go kill 10,000 monsters before you even can start your warband. You play, and after your second session, you're on level 30. You start hitting the time gates. You start hitting the paywalls. It's awful. The game itself, if everything else was removed, it's like a B- game. I start playing it. It feels like someone took Diablo 3 and cut out about 65% of the game, right? I was playing as a wizard. I got my 4 abilities, and I learned maybe 4 new ones. Some of them just suck. The gear, I don't even check it. It's just a green arrow if it's better. I don't even know what any of my gear does because it's just they have the item levels the biggest number at the top of the thing. You're seeing other players running around. Half the time you can't see what they're fighting. So you just run past people and they're just swinging in the air, right? They have little 5-man dungeons, which is just dodge the obvious telegraphed ground effect shit. Boss goes invincible when they do an animation and go to their next phase, right? So better time your ultimate well that charges every 5 minutes. It's garbage. It's bad. It sucks. The art is fantastic. The music is okay.
I mean, it's Blizzard.
Yeah.
The art is always going to be fantastic. The music's always going to be at least okay.
Yeah. Diablo 3 and this one, the music was garbage. Like, go listen to the old Diablo 1 and 2 soundtracks. They were they were good.
Pristine.
So don't play it. Don't even try it. Don't watch the Twitch. All those Twitch people.
Don't touch it.
Yeah. There's all these Twitch streamers playing it, saying how bad it is, right? Then why the fuck are they playing it? Why are they throwing thousands of dollars at it, right? Because they're trying to drum up attention. Just stop it. Just let it go. Let it die. Don't touch it. I promise you, you will not waste your time.
I was watching somebody playing it on release day.
Yeah, a million people were.
I watched them finish a dungeon, and in lieu of items dropping, they
get a pop-up.
They get a pop-up.
Offer to buy a 99-cent loot package for
you completed the dungeon for just 99 cents. You can get the gear for completing the dungeon.
You know what I say to that? Take 2 dicks and call me in the morning.
Yeah, they took everything that you could monetize about Diablo and they monetized it or time-gated it or fucking paywalled it or soft paywalled it, if I'm being fair.
It's Andy's.
But just following the main storyline, there was twice where I couldn't continue until I leveled up. I hit 28, I needed to be, or 20-something, I needed to be 28. It was like 1 or 2 levels off. So I turned in some quests and did it. And then I hit 30. I need to be 35 for the next one. I'm like, what the fuck do you want me to do? All the daily time-gated shit that you need to log in every 4 hours to check and do.
And some of the time-gated stuff you have to pay for. Yeah. And if you miss out on a daily, you lose it. Paid for daily.
Everything they could monetize and FOMO you on and psychologically double speak and get your little gambling button, they did.
After they tried to assure us that it wasn't going to be like just total pay to win, it's pay to play. Like it's like microtransactions for microtransactions.
If you just want to play through the game single player and not pay anything, and you're okay with the standard time gated shit, everything slows down. You're doing the same thing every day just to do it because the game's putting notifications on the top bar of your phone. Go for it. Right? You're not going to spend any money.
How many hours of gameplay did you put in it?
I played it in 3 sessions. I think I probably spent a total of maybe 10 hours, maybe less, 8 to 10 hours before I started hitting those walls. And I was just waiting for something that was unique. I mean, they've got the kind of endgame dungeons they had in Diablo 3. Yeah. But again, like, you got to use gems. You get 1 a day if you log in. You get a reward for killing your first monster of the day. I got a fucking notification pop up to come kill a monster. It's like, fuck off. Like, just don't. So, but that said, they made $800,000 on their first day, which isn't Genshin Impact money, but it's wait until they release in Southeast Asia, right? Yep. They're going to make a shit ton of money because the kind of people who pay for these games aren't the kind of people who listen to me on this podcast. So I'm
true. They're too busy. They're too busy having too much money. Yeah.
Welcome to Video Game Tango. We are.
Hey man, if you want to give me some of your money, I'll let you win, homie.
Yeah, dude. Hey, listen. Make sure you subscribe to the Twitch channel. We've got PayPal links on the page. Donate to us at videogametango.com.
Like whatever. Like what do you want, man? Fuck.
Wait, does that mean I get? Can I poach the whale?
That would be a fun Netflix show, going around killing video game whales.
That's probably something we're going to talk about on the Balcony Time podcast.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways, make sure you tune in for the Balcony Time podcast next week. Then later on in the week, we'll be back with Video Game Tango. To check out any of the games that we talked about this evening, go to videogametango.com. I'll have it up on the latest blog. I want to thank everybody for listening or watching.
And that's not just a fact. That's a werewolf fact.
The werewolf fact is we love you.
We do.
Oh.